Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Listen, before we get into today's message, I need you to breathe for a second. Life gets heavy, dreams get messy, and sometimes you feel like you're fighting battles nobody even knows about. But that's exactly why we're here, to talk about the part of success nobody shows on camera. The part where you're tired, broke, lonely, and still trying to push forward, even when the world don't clap for you. So today, I want you to hear me with your heart, not your ears. Everybody wants the win, but nobody wants the war that builds you. They'll call it luck, but you and God know the nights you almost broke. Success is quiet, lonely. The results make noise. So stop trying to impress people who ain't even watching. Just do the work and let your victory expose you. Chapter 1. The nights nobody talks about. They always talk about the success. They talk about the victory, the glow up, the moment you shine so bright, the world finally looks your way. But nobody talks about the nights that almost destroyed you on the way there. Those nights when the world was quiet, but your mind wasn't. Those nights when your pillow felt like it was holding more weight than you were. Those nights when you prayed, cried, whispered, begged, and still woke up the next morning pretending everything was fine. This chapter is for those nights. Because see, the truth is, success isn't born in sunlight. It is created in the dark, in the hours nobody claps for you, nobody checks on you, nobody believes in you. Those hours shape you more than the applause ever will. You know that feeling when everyone else is asleep, but your heart is awake. Your brain is racing like it's on fire, replaying every mistake, every failure, every maybe. I'm not enough. You are staring at the ceiling, wondering why life feels harder for you than it seems for everyone else. But let me tell you something real. The people you admire, the strong ones, the successful ones, the ones who look like they have it all together, they had these nights too. The difference is, they didn't quit on themselves during those nights. There's a moment around 2 a.m. when the world feels like it's crushing you. That moment when you're tired but can't sleep, broken but still pretending to be strong, lost but still forcing yourself to move. And you look around your room, same walls, same bed, same silence. Everything feels like it's choking you because you want to be somewhere else. You want to be someone else. But here's the truth. Nobody ever taught you. The version of you that survives nights like this is the version that succeeds in public later. Nobody claps for these nights. Nobody cheers you on. Nobody posts inspirational quotes about the nights when you felt alone and invisible. But without these nights, you don't grow. In these moments, you learn how strong you can be. It's as in these moments your future self is quietly being built. Think about it. People don't become champions at the victory parade. They become champions at 1 a.m. practices when nobody's watching. People don't become successful during interviews. They become successful during breakdowns. They refuse to let break them. You're not weak because you cry. You're not soft because you feel things deeply. You are not failing because your journey is harder than you expected. You're human, and sometimes being human hurts like hell. You still show up and you still fight back. You still keep going when nobody gives you a reason to. That is strength. Most people will never understand. People will see your success one day and say, "You're lucky bad day LL." Never know that you built that luck on nights when you felt like you had nothing left. They'll never know about the nights you cried silently because you didn't want to worry anyone. They'll never know about the nights you held your own hand because no one else was there to hold it. They'll never know about the nights you stayed up overthinking every decision you ever made, but you ain't. And that's what gives you power. You've survived nights that were meant to break you. You've survived moments that would have crushed someone else. You've survived thoughts you were afraid to say out loud. And maybe right now, as you're listening to this, you or I in one of those nights again. Maybe life is heavy. Maybe your chest hurts. Maybe your dreams feel far. Maybe you feel like you're fighting alone. But listen to me. You're not weak. You're not being high. You're not failing. Every tear is watering the seeds of the person you're becoming. Every pain is building emotional muscle nobody can take from you. Tessanites are not punishment. Preparation. Their world sees your wins. God sees your nights. Some teams, you think you're stuck. But you're actually in a season where life is forcing you to grow roots. Because roots grow in darkness, not sunlight. So if you're in a dark season, don't assume you're failing, you're becoming. You're becoming the person who won't break under pressure. You're becoming the person who won't fold when things get hard. You're becoming the person who will win in public because you learned how to fight in private. You're becoming someone new. So many deeper than your pain, so many bigger than your fears. When the win finally comes, and trust me, it will, nobody will ever understand how much it cost you. Nobody will know how many nights you fell apart before you stood tall. Nobody will know how close you came to giving up, but you will know. And that knowledge, that private fight, is what makes your victory real. So, the next time you're up late, feeling lost, tired, or hopeless, remember this chapter. Remember that these nights are not your enemy. Because you cannot shine in public until you survive the nights. Nobody talks about and guess what? You're surviving them. Every single day. And that means your story isn't over. Chapter 2. Silence is your superpower. Most people think success is loud. They think it's flashing lights, clapping crowds, Instagram likes, and viral moments. But real success? Silence is where the grind, the hustle, the focus, the sacrifices, they all stack up without anyone noticing. Silence is where champions are made. And the crazy part, most people are terrified of it. Think about it. Why? Because silence forces you to face yourself. It forces you to deal with the thoughts you've been running from. The doubts, the fears, the insecurities, they all get louder when the world is quiet. And most people, they can't handle that. They scroll. They distract themselves. They post. They brag. They scream. Anything to avoid silence. But not you. Not if you're serious about winning. It doesn't lie. It shows you who you are when there is an audience, and guess what? That's exactly the version of you that matters. When you're silent, when you're alone with your thoughts, you start to see the truth. You see the areas where you've been lying to yourself? Because once you know the truth, you can fix it. One shouts about it every day, posts every step online, constantly seeks validation. The other works in silence. No likes, no comments, no audience. Who do you think will be ready when the real opportunity comes? Who do you think will have built the real skill, the mental toughness, the discipline to seize the moment? Silence is your secret weapon. See, the world loves to celebrate the finished product. Nobody wants to see the late-night hours you put in. Nobody wants to see the rejection you swallowed like bitter medicine. Nobody wants to see the sweat, the tears, the small, invisible wins that nobody notices. But that's exactly where your power lies. When you learn to embrace silence, you learn to embrace yourself. You stop seeking constant validation. The louder you are, the weaker you often are. The quieter you are, the stronger you really are. Because real strength doesn't need an audience. Real strength doesn't need applause. Real strength builds itself quietly, methodically, relentlessly. It teaches you that results don't come immediately. They come after hours, days, months, even years of consistent, invisible effort. When everyone else is shouting for instant gratification, you're steady. And here's where it gets even deeper. When the noise is gone, you can ask yourself the hard questions. Am I being honest with myself? Am I doing enough? Am I willing to pay the price? They make your heart pound. They make you want to run. But that's the point. You're supposed to grow from it. The people who run from silence, they stay average. They stay noisy, distracted, and lost. Think about the most successful people you know. Notice a pattern. They think more than they speak. They study more than they talk. Silence doesn't just make you strong, it makes you smart. It makes you disciplined. It makes you focused. It sharpens your mind, your skill, your resilience. And here's a secret most people never tell you. Silence also makes you untouchable. When you're quiet, people underestimate you. They don't see the work you're putting in. And when you finally reveal yourself, you hit harder than anyone expected. But embracing silence isn't easy. It's raw, and at first, it might feel like you're doing nothing. You might feel frustrated, impatient, even angry. You might question yourself. Am I wasting my time? Am I behind? Am I invisible? Yes. You might feel all that. And that's normal. But remember, the night is darkest before the dawn. The most powerful people aren't the ones who made noise there, the ones who endured the quiet and built something no one else could see. So next time you're alone, next time the noise in your head is screaming, don't distract yourself. Silence is your teacher. Silence is your trainer. When you embrace it, you start moving differently. You start winning differently. You're busy doing. While the world is busy seeking attention, remember this. The next time someone underestimates you, misunderstands you, or ignores you, it's probably because they can't see your superpower. They can't see the depth of your grind. They can't see the silence that is creating a storm inside you. And when your time comes, when your results finally speak, that storm will hit harder than anyone imagined. That's the power of silence. So cherish it, respect it, master it. Because one day, everyone will see your victory, but they'll never see the quiet nights that made it possible. And you'll know. And that knowledge, that secret strength, is unstoppable. Chapter 3. Pain builds the real you. Pain. Nobody wants it. Nobody likes it. Nobody invites it over for dinner. Yet, somehow, it's the one thing that changes everything. The one thing that transforms ordinary people into warriors. The one thing that takes broken souls and forges them into unshakable strength. Think about it. The most successful people, the people you admire, the people who seem untouchable, they weren't born without struggle. They weren't gifted with a perfect life. They weren't spared the heartbreak, the failure, the moments where it felt like the world had left them behind. No. They were forged in pain. They were sharpened by it. They were defined by it. Pain is uncomfortable. It's raw. It's ugly. It feels heavy in your chest, like you're carrying the weight of the world alone. It wakes you up in the middle of the night. It makes you question everything. Yourself, your choices, your worth. It's the kind of thing that makes you scream into the darkness, hoping anyone hears you. And sometimes, nobody does. But here's the truth. Nobody tells you. Pain isn't here to stop you. It's here to teach you. It's here to mold you. It's here to show you what you're truly capable of. Every scar you carry, every tear you've cried, every heartbreak you've survived, it's all part of your blueprint. Your pain is not a curse. It's your blueprint for greatness. When you feel weak, that's the exact moment your strength is growing. When you feel broken, that's the exact moment your resilience is being built. When you feel hopeless, that's the exact moment your courage is waking up inside you. Here's the thing about pain. It's selective. It doesn't hurt everyone the same way. It's personalized. It targets your weaknesses, exposes your fears, and tests your limits. And that's exactly why it works. Pain forces you to confront yourself. Pain forces you to face your fears. Pain forces you to grow. Imagine two people, both chasing the same dream. One walks a smooth path with no obstacles. The other is thrown into chaos, betrayal, heartbreak, and failure. Who will come out stronger? Who will be unbreakable when the world tries to knock them down again? It's obvious. Pain builds you like nothing else can. Let me tell you something real. The moment you stop running from pain, the moment You stop hating it, avoiding it, pretending it doesn't exist. You start transforming. Because pain is honest. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't flatter. It tells you exactly who you are and what you need to fix. Most people avoid it. They numb it. They distract themselves. They try to act like it's not there. But you're different. You've felt it. You've embraced. Italiano? You've learned from it. Pain teaches patience. Pain teaches empathy. Pain teaches resilience. Pain teaches strategy. Without pain, you can't grow. Without pain, you can't rise. Without pain, you can't truly know yourself. I know what you're thinking. Why me? Why do I have to suffer like this? Listen, I've been there too. I've felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. I've been betrayed by people I trusted. I've been rejected, laughed at, ignored. I've been crushed, and I've cried. But guess what? Every single moment of pain was a lesson. Every single heartbreak was a step forward. Every single failure was a brick in the foundation of the person I am today. Pain doesn't break you. It reveals you. It exposes the raw, unfiltered version of yourself. The part of you that refuses to quit. No matter what. The part of you that keeps getting up, keeps fighting, keeps moving forward. And here's the kicker. The more pain you endure, the higher you can rise. Because when you've survived the worst, the rest feels easier. When you've walked through fire, the cold breeze of life feels like nothing. When you've been knocked down again and again, no one and nothing can keep you down. Pain builds character. Pain builds discipline. Pain builds strength. It also builds humility. It reminds you that you're human. It reminds you to appreciate the victories, because you know how hard the climb was. It reminds you to never take anything for granted. It reminds you that every struggle you face is shaping the legacy you leave behind. Here's the part most people miss. Pain is temporary. Your growth is permanent. The nights you feel like crying, the moments you feel like giving up, they will pause. But the strength you gain, that stays with you forever. So next time life hits you, remember to don't run from pain. Don't ignore it. Don't pretend it's not real. Sit with it. Feel it. Learn from it. Grow from it. Pain is your teacher. Pain is your trainer. Pain is your ladder. And every rung you climb, every tear you shed, every scar you carry is a step closer to the real you. The you who won't quit. The you who won't fold. The you who rises again and again, no matter what. The you who wins in public, because you survived in private. Pain builds the real you, not the version you show to the world. The version nobody sees. The version that refuses to break. That's the power of pain. And the best part? It's always building you, even when you think you're falling apart. Because every storm you endure, every heartbreak you survive, every rejection you swallow is turning you into someone unstoppable. Chapter 3. Pain builds the real you. Pain. Nobody wants it. Nobody likes it. Nobody invites it over for dinner. Yet, somehow, it's the one thing that changes everything. The one thing that transforms ordinary people into warriors. The one thing that takes broken souls and forges them into unshakable strength. Think about it. The most successful people, the people you admire, the people who seem untouchable, they weren't born without struggle. They weren't gifted with a perfect life. They weren't spared the heartbreak, the failure, the moments where it felt like the world had left them behind. No. They were forged in pain. They were sharpened by it. They were defined by it. Pain is uncomfortable. It's raw. It's ugly. It feels heavy in your chest, like you're carrying the weight of the world alone. It wakes you up in the middle of the night. It makes you question everything. Yourself, your choices, your worth. It's the kind of thing that makes you scream into the darkness, hoping anyone hears you. And sometimes nobody does. But here's the truth. Nobody tells you. Pain isn't here to stop you. It's here to teach you. It's here to mold you. It's here to show you what you're truly capable of. Every scar you carry, every tear you've cried, every heartbreak you've survived, it's all part of your blueprint. Your pain is not a curse. It's your blueprint for greatness. When you feel weak, that's the exact moment your strength is growing. When you feel broken, that's the exact moment your resilience is being built. When you feel hopeless, that's the exact moment your courage is waking up inside you. Here's the thing about pain. It's selective. It doesn't hurt everyone the same way. It's personalized. It targets your weaknesses, exposes your fears, and tests your limits. And that's exactly why it works. Pain forces you to confront yourself. Pain forces you to face your fears. Pain forces you to grow. Imagine two people, both chasing the same dream. One walks a smooth path with no obstacles. The other is thrown into chaos, betrayal, heartbreak, and failure. Who will come out stronger? Who will be unbreakable when the world tries to knock them down again? It's obvious. Pain builds you like nothing else can. Let me tell you something real. The moment you stop running from pain, the moment you stop hating it, avoiding it, pretending it doesn't exist, you start transforming. Because pain is honest. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't flatter. It tells you exactly who you are and what you need to fix. Most people avoid it. They numb it. They distract themselves. They try to act like it's not there. But you're different. You've felt it. You've embraced. Italiano? You've learned from it. Pain teaches patience. Pain teaches empathy. Pain teaches resilience. Pain teaches strategy. Without pain, you can't grow. Without pain, you can't rise. Without pain, you can't truly know yourself. I know what you're thinking. Why me? Why do I have to suffer like this? Listen, I've been there too. I've felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. I've been betrayed by people I trusted. I've been rejected, laughed at, ignored. I've been crushed, and I've cried. But guess what? Every single moment of pain was a lesson. Every single heartbreak was a step forward. Every single failure was a brick in the foundation of the person I am today. Pain doesn't break you. It reveals you. It exposes the raw, unfiltered version of yourself. The part of you that refuses to quit. No matter what. The part of you that keeps getting up, keeps fighting, keeps moving forward. And here's the kicker. The more pain you endure, the higher you can rise. Because when you've survived the worst, the rest feels easier. When you've walked through fire, the cold breeze of life feels like nothing. When you've been knocked down again and again, no one and nothing can keep you down. Pain builds character. Pain builds discipline. Pain builds strength. It also builds humility. It reminds you that you're human. It reminds you to appreciate the victories, because you know how hard the climb was. It reminds you to never take anything for granted. It reminds you that every struggle you face is shaping the legacy you leave behind. Here's the part most people miss. Pain is temporary. Your growth is permanent. The nights you feel like crying, the moments you feel like giving up, they will pause. But the strength you gain, that stays with you forever. So next time life hits you, remember to don't run from pain. Don't ignore it. Don't pretend it's not real. Sit with it. Feel it. Learn from it. Grow from it. Pain is your teacher. Pain is your trainer. Pain is your ladder. And every rung you climb, every tear you shed, every scar you carry is a step closer to the real you. The you who won't quit. The you who won't fold. The you who rises again and again, no matter what. The you who wins in public, because you survived in private. Pain builds the real you, not the version you show to the world. The version nobody sees. The version that refuses to break. That's the power of pain. And the best part? It's always building you, even when you think you're falling apart. Because every storm you endure, every heartbreak you survive, Every rejection you swallow is turning you into someone unstoppable. Chapter 5. Show up even when your broken life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't care if you're tired, hurt, or scared. It doesn't stop when your heart is shattered, your dreams are falling apart, or your body is screaming for rest. And that's the hard truth. Showing up isn't about feeling perfect. It isn't about being 100% ready. It's about getting on your feet, even when every part of you wants to stay in bed, pull the covers over your head, and disappear. Because here's the reality. Winners don't wait for the right moment. They create the right moment. They fight through pain. They keep going. Even when broken, you've been there, haven't you? That moment when everything seems to fall apart at once, the heartbreak that leaves your chest hollow, the failure that makes your stomach twist, the disappointment that pierces like a knife. And still, the alarm goes off. The responsibilities don't pause. The world keeps moving, and in that moment, you have a choice. You can stay broken, you can let life's weight crush you, you can quit, or you can show up. Showing up when you're broken, that's where real strength lives. That's where character is forged. That's where champions are made. It's not easy. It's brutal. It's painful. Every step feels heavier. But that's exactly why it matters. Because showing up when it hurts, that's how you grow beyond your limits. That's how you discover what you're truly capable of. That's how you teach yourself and the world that nothing can stop you. Let me break it down. Every great person you admire has been broken at some point. They've felt despair. They've felt failure. They've felt invisible, defeated, forgotten. But here's the thing. They didn't stay there. They got moving. They faced the day, even when they felt like a shattered version of themselves. And that's exactly what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Pain is temporary. But showing up, that becomes a habit. That becomes your identity. That becomes unstoppable momentum. It's funny, isn't it? The world only sees the shine, the success, the results. Nobody sees the scars, the tears, the nights you cried yourself to sleep, or the mornings you forced yourself out of bed, but those broken moments. Those are your foundation. They teach you discipline. They teach you resilience. They teach you patience. They teach you empathy. They teach you courage. Showing up, broken builds something no comfort zone ever could. Let me tell you this. You don't need to feel ready to start. You don't need to be strong to take action. You don't need to be healed to show up. You just need to move. You just need to show up. Even if your hands shake. Even if your voice trembles, even if your heart feels like it's been shattered into 1,000 pieces, every single step you take in that broken state counts. Every single small action matters. Every single day you push through brings you closer to the life you want. And the amazing part, showing up broken doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. It makes you real. It makes you relatable. It makes you strong in a way no one else can measure. Because strength isn't about never falling, it's about standing up every single time you do. Here's a secret most people will never tell you. Your brokenness is your fuel. It's your power. It's your edge. The hurt, the pain, the setbacks, they give you perspective. They give you drive. They give you motivation that no amount of comfort ever could. So next time life hits you hard, remember this. You don't need to feel perfect to move forward. You don't need to feel whole to chase your dreams. You don't need to feel strong to fight for what you want. All you need is to show up. Because showing up broken, that's when transformation happens. That's when character is built. That's when victory begins. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize all those moments you felt weak were the moments that made you unbreakable. You'll realize that showing up, despite the pain, despite the fear, despite the heartbreak, was the key to everything you ever wanted. So, No matter how heavy life feels, no matter how shattered you are, no matter how hopeless it seems, show up. Keep moving. Keep fighting. Keep grinding, because the world rewards those who refuse to stay down, because life belongs to those who show up, even when broken. Because your brokenness is just the beginning of your greatness. And when you finally stand tall, healed or not, you'll know, deep in your soul, that nothing could have stopped you. Nothing. Chapter 6. Grind now. Glow later. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Life doesn't reward you immediately. It doesn't hand you the glory the second you start hustling. It doesn't pat you on the back the moment you take your first step. Life rewards consistency. It rewards patience. It rewards the ones willing to put in the work while everyone else is distracted, complaining, or chasing instant gratification. That's the essence of grind. Now, glow later. Think about it for a second. Every person you admire, every success story you ever heard, nobody woke up one morning and suddenly had it all. No overnight success, no luck that fell from the sky. They grinded. They hustled. They sacrificed. They suffered in silence. They embraced the struggle, the pain, the long nights, the early mornings, and they trusted that eventually it would pay off. That's the glow part. The shine. The moment the world sees what you've built while no one was watching. But here's the problem most people face. They want the glow, but they don't want the grind. They want results, but they don't want the struggle. They want applause, but they don't want the lonely nights that create greatness. And that's why most people fail. Success isn't about talent alone. It isn't about luck, charisma, or who you know. It's about showing up when it's hard. It's about grinding when it feels pointless. It's about doing the work when nobody's watching and nobody cares. Let me make this personal for a moment. I've been in the trenches. I've stayed up late when the world was asleep. I've skipped sleep, comfort, and even social life. Who's to grind? And there were times it hurt. There were times I questioned everything. There were times I thought, why bother? But I didn't stop. I kept going. I kept grinding. And the beauty, eventually, it paid off. Not immediately. Not perfectly. But it did, because the grind, the quiet, persistent, relentless effort always compounds. Every hour you invest in your craft, every skill you sharpen, every rejection you swallow and learn from, every setback you push through, it all adds up, and eventually it becomes unstoppable momentum. Here's another truth. The glow isn't just about money, fame, or recognition. It's about confidence. It's about discipline. It's about the quiet satisfaction that comes from knowing you've done everything possible to become the person you meant to be. When you grind now, you're not just chasing success. You're building character. You're building resilience. You're building a foundation that will hold everything else up. Because when life finally hands you your moment, you won't just be ready. You'll be unstoppable. But here's the catch. Grind isn't glamorous. It's lonely. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. You'll have days where it feels pointless. Days when everyone else seems to be having fun while you're stuck in the studio, office, gym, or whatever your battlefield is. Days when your friends and family don't understand why you're pushing so hard. Days when the world looks at you like you're crazy. And in those days, you grind anyway. Because you know something they don't? The glow comes later. The shine comes after the storm. The victory comes for those willing to pay the price nobody else will. And yes, the grind can be brutal. There will be moments when you feel exhausted. Moments when doubt creeps in. Moments when you ask, am I really doing this for nothing? And the answer is yes. For now, it might feel like nothing. For now, the world might not see it. For now, it might seem pointless. But keep going, keep grinding, because those invisible hours, those lonely nights, those moments of struggle, they're not wasted. They're building the version of you that will shine brighter than anyone imagined. Think about it this way. The people who glowed on TV show you the years of work behind the scenes. They show you the highlight reel, the finish line, but every single one of them was grinding while nobody cared. Every single one of them sacrificed comfort for a dream. Every single one of them endured the quiet pain, the frustration, the setbacks. Before they ever saw the glory, that's the rule. Grind now, glow later. So here's the challenge for you. Stop waiting for the world to notice. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the right time. The right time is now. The right time is always now. Grind in silence. And when the glow comes, it will be blinding. It will be undeniable. It will be yours. Not because the world gave it to you, not because you got lucky, not because someone decided you deserved it, but because you earned it. Because you sweated for it. Because you suffered for it. Because you showed up again and again, even when it hurt, even when it was lonely, even when it seemed pointless. And that is real success. Remember, grind now, glow later. Your moment will come, and when it does, the world won't know the price you paid, but you will, and that's all that matters. So, embrace the grind, love the struggle, trust the process, because the glow, your glow, is coming, and it will be worth every single second. Chapter 7. Your circle makes or breaks. You let me tell you something real, something people don't learn until it's too late. Who you keep around you will decide who you become. Your circle, your friends, your environment. They're not just part of your life. They shape your life. They shape your habits. They shape your confidence. They shape your expectations. They shape your future. And most people never realize this until their life starts falling apart and they look around wondering why, wondering how, wondering where it went wrong. But the truth is simple. You can fly if you hang in with people who are scared of heights. You ever notice what happens when you start leveling up? When you try to break old habits? When you want something more? When you get hungry for growth? When you're ready to elevate? People start acting different. People start pulling away. People start getting uncomfortable. People start saying things like, "Bro, you've changed. Why are you acting different? You think you're better than us? Relax. You're doing too much." They're not mad at you. They're threatened by your growth. Your grind reminds them of their laziness. Your ambition reminds them of their fear. Your discipline exposes their lack of it. Your dreams make them uncomfortable, because deep down, they stopped dreaming a long time ago. And here is the hard truth. Sometimes the people closest to you want you to stay small. Not because they hate you, but because your growth forces them to look at themselves, and they don't like what they see. Your circle matters. More than your talent, more than your education, more than your resources. You can have the biggest dream in the world, but if you're surrounded by small thinkers, you'll shrink. You can have the brightest ambition, but if you're surrounded by people who don't believe in themselves, energy is contagious. You ever been around someone who inspires you without even trying? Their discipline hits you. Their mindset rubs off on you. Their confidence lifts you. Their goals become fuel for yours. That's the power of the right circle. You become who you spend time with, even if you don't notice it happening. If you hang with people who complain all day, you'll start complaining too. If you hang with people who make excuses, you'll start making excuses. If you hang with people who settle, you'll settle. But if you hang with winners, if you hang with dreamers, if you hang with people who wake up hungry, you'll feel that same fire inside you. Let me say this clearly. A weak circle will destroy a strong person, but a strong circle will elevate a weak person. Your environment is powerful. But the problem is, most people are loyal to the wrong environment. They stay around people who drain them, people who laugh at their dreams, people who don't clap for them, people who only call when they need something, people who bring drama, negativity, and chaos. And they call it friendship. Let's be honest. Some of the people you call friends aren't your friends. They're your distractions. Your downfall. Your delay. Some of the people you love the most are the ones holding you back the hardest. It hurts. But it's real. You cannot build a big life with small minds. Sometimes you gotta outgrow people. Sometimes you gotta walk away. Sometimes you gotta create distance. Sometimes you gotta learn to love people from afar. Not because you're better. Let me give you a rule. One that successful people live by. If they don't push you, challenge you, support you, value you, or inspire you, they shouldn't be in your circle. Your circle should make you feel motivated, valued, confident, supported, understood, driven, accountable. If your circle doesn't do that, it's not a circle. It's a cage, and you deserve to be free. You deserve a circle that forces you to grow, a circle that speaks life into your ideas, a circle that celebrates your wins, a circle that tells you when you're slipping, a circle that wants you to succeed even when they're not getting anything from it. That's a real circle. And if you don't have that right now, don't panic. Don't break yourself trying to fit in. Stand alone if you have to, because standing alone will always be better than standing with the wrong people. And here's the beautiful part. When you start leveling up, your standards change. Better people. People who match your vibration. People who understand your hunger. People who clap when you win. People who see your worth without you explaining it. Your circle is your mirror. Choose. You don't grow by keeping the same people. Grind with those who want to see you win. Build with those who think big. Because with the right circle, Chapter 8, discipline will save you when motivation won't. Motivation is beautiful. It feels good. It hits you like a spark, like fire, like electricity running through your veins. Motivation makes you feel unstoppable. For a day, for a week, maybe even a month, if you're lucky. But motivation fades. It always does. It dies the moment life punches you in the mouth. It disappears when you're tired, overwhelmed, heartbroken, stressed, or scared. It leaves you hanging the second things get hard. That's why most people never finish what they start. They wait for motivation to come back. And it doesn't. But there's something stronger. Something tougher. Something unshakable. Discipline. Discipline is the quiet soldier that shows up even when motivation has packed its bags and left. It's the habit that kicks in when your feelings check out. It's the force inside you that whispers, "Get up, do the work. Today matters." People love to chase motivation. They get addicted to the hype, the energy, the rush. They watch videos, listen to speeches, hype themselves up, and then quit the moment the excitement fades. But discipline? Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. Discipline doesn't need hype. Discipline doesn't ask you, "Are you in the mood today?" It simply tells you, "Show up anyway." Let me tell you something harsh but real. If you build your life on motivation, because motivation is emotional, discipline is structural. Discipline is a foundation. And you can't build a great life on sparks. You build it on bricks, one brick a day, one routine a day, one action a day. Even when you don't feel like Italiano. Especially when you don't feel like Italiano, let's be honest. Some of your greatest days will start on mornings you didn't want to get out of bed. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will happen on days you almost quit. Some of your strongest results will come from moments where you were exhausted, stressed, or broken, but still showed up. It's quiet, slow, consistent, unseen. It's waking up early when everyone else is sleeping. It's working while your friends are partying at S3 when no one is cheering. It's studying when your mind wants to shut down. It's practicing when nobody claps for you. The world doesn't see that version of you. They only see the glow. They don't see the grind. But discipline sees everything. Discipline keeps receipts. Every day you show up, every habit you repeat, every hard choice you make. Discipline stores it, stacks it, compounds it. And one day, one moment, one opportunity. Everything pays off. Here's the truth. You're not always going to feel confident, but that's where discipline steps in. It replaces excuses with actions. Motivation asks, "Do you feel like it?" Discipline says, "It doesn't matter." Motivation is a guest. Discipline is the homeowner. Motivation is loud. Discipline is loyal. So, how do you build discipline? How do you become that unstoppable version of yourself? Here's how. Create one habit. Even if it's halfway, even if you hate it, show up. Your mind will always try to talk you out of what you know you need to do. Don't debate. Do 4. Expect hard days. Success requires sacrifice. There will be pain. You just need to be consistent. And the only thing that will carry you through those storms. Motivation won't save you when you're heartbroken. Motivation won't save you when you fail. Motivation won't save you when life gets dark. Motivation won't save you when you lose someone, lose money, lose direction. But discipline will remind you of your purpose when you forget. And that's why the strongest people aren't the most motivated. They're the most disciplined. They don't wait for the mood. Your success? Because discipline builds the life you dream of. Let them quit when the spark goes out. But you build discipline. You build habits. You build structure. You build the version of yourself that shows up no matter what. And when you do, you'll realize the truth. Discipline doesn't just save you. It transforms you. Someone unbreakable. Someone undeniable. That's the power of discipline, and that's why it will carry you long after motivation is gone. Chapter 9. Pain is the price of growth. Nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wakes up wishing for heartbreak, loss, failure, or disappointment. But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You cannot grow without pain. You cannot evolve without discomfort. You cannot become the person you're meant to be if life never breaks you, tests you, or stretches you beyond your limits. Pain is the price of growth. It sounds brutal, but it's real. When life hurts you, it's not always punishing you. Sometimes it's preparing you, sharpening you, strengthening you, removing the weak parts so the strong parts can rise. Think about it. Every version of you that existed before, the one who was scared, insecure, fragile, unhealed, that version had to die for you to become who you are now. That process is painful. Growth feels like breaking. And in a way, it is, because the old you has to shatter so the new you can step forward. But in the middle of the storm, you don't see that. You only feel the hurt, the confusion, the heaviness in your chest. The nights that feel endless. The days where you don't recognize yourself. The moments when you whisper, "Why me? Why now? Why like this?" Let me answer that. Because without pain, you'd stay the same. Comfort keeps you in old patterns. Pain pushes you into new ones. You don't grow when life is easy. You grow when life forces you to look at yourself. Really look and realize something has to change. Something has to break. Something has to be rebuilt. Pain pushes you to move. It wakes you up. It demands your attention. It forces you to deal with yourself, your fears, your habits, your wounds, your limits. You can't ignore pain. It won't let you. But here's the beautiful part. Pain is temporary. Growth is permanent. The hurt fades. The lessons stay. The scar heals. The strength remains. You ever look back at a moment in your life that destroyed you and realize it also shaped you? That breakup that shattered you made you wiser. That failure that embarrassed you made you stronger. That disappointment that crushed your expectations made you tougher. That loss that broke your heart made you more human. Pain is the greatest teacher you'll ever have. But only if you're willing to learn from it. Some people let pain destroy them. Others let pain rebuild them. The difference? Mindset. Pain can either break your spirit or build your character. It can turn you cold or turn you powerful. It can make you bitter or make you better. And the choice is always yours. Most people run from pain. They hide from it. They numb it with distractions. Food, scrolling, smoking, drinking, people, noise. They do anything they can to avoid feeling it. But the ones who grow, they face it. They sit with it. They listen to what it's trying to teach them. Pain is honest. It shows you where you're weak. It shows you what you're afraid of. It shows you what you care about. It shows you what needs healing. And healing, that's another kind of pain. A softer one, a deeper one, a necessary one. Healing means tearing out old wounds, old beliefs, old versions of yourself that no longer serve you. And that hurts too, but it's the kind of pain that leads to freedom. Here's what most people don't realize. Your greatest growth will come from your darkest seasons. Your strongest version will come from your hardest battles. Your deepest wisdom will come from your most painful lessons. You're not growing when life is calm. You're growing in the chaos, in the storms, in the moments that feel like endings, but are really beginnings. Pain is the doorway, but growth is what waits on the other side. And I know it's hard. I know some days feel impossible. I know there are moments where you think you can't keep going. Moments where the weight is too heavy. Moments where the world feels cold. Moments where you feel invisible, misunderstood, exhausted. But let me tell you something. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. You're not falling apart. You're unfolding. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Every tear is watering the future you're stepping into. Every heartbreak is reshaping your strength. Every setback is redirecting your path. Every painful moment is chiseling you into someone stronger, braver, wiser, more resilient. Pain is not your enemy. It is your invitation. An invitation to rise, to evolve, to transform. So, the next time life hurts you, when things fall apart, when people betray you, when dreams collapse, when plans fail, when you feel lost or broken, remind yourself, this is not the end. This is the beginning of your growth. You will not be the same person after this season. You will be stronger. You will be different. You will be more you. Pain is the price of growth, and growth is the reward for pain. The world will see the glow, but you will remember the fire that forged it. Chapter 10. The Quiet Victory of a Life. Lived your way conclusion. This is it. The final chapter. The moment where everything you've been through, everything you've survived, everything you've rebuilt, finally starts to make sense. Because growth isn't loud. Healing isn't loud. Transformation isn't loud. Victory, especially the real kind, is quiet. It doesn't come with confetti. It doesn't come with applause. It doesn't come with people cheering your name or patting you on the back. Most of the time, victory comes in silence, in the moments only you experience, only you understand, only you feel deep in your chest. You know what real victory looks like. It's waking up one morning and realizing you're no longer angry. You're no longer broken. You're no longer trying to prove yourself to people who don't matter. You're no longer carrying the weight of old wounds. Real victory is the moment your peace becomes louder than your doubts. It's the moment you'll look in the mirror and whisper, I made it out. Not made it perfect. Not made it successful. Not made it flawless. Just made it out. Out of the pain. Out of the darkness. Out of the mindset that held you down. Out of the version of yourself that was surviving instead of living. The world won't clap for that, but your soul will, because this journey, your journey, wasn't about impressing the world. It was about saving yourself. It was about rebuilding what life tried to destroy. It was about discovering the parts of you that pain tried to bury. And now you know something powerful. You don't need validation to keep going. You don't need approval to rise. You don't need permission to evolve. You've learned to work in private. You've learned to grind in the dark. You've learned to grow in silence. And that skill, that discipline, will carry you for the rest of your life. Because the truth is, people will doubt you until the day you succeed. They'll question you until the day you prove them wrong. They'll ignore you until the day they need you. They'll laugh at you until the day you win. But even when you win, understand this. Your success is not their closure. Your success is your beginning. Winning publicly is not about showing off. It's not about flexing. It's not about proving anything. It's simply the natural result of someone who did the work when no one was watching. You stayed consistent in the dark. You kept pushing when nobody cared. You kept believing when nobody supported you. You kept moving when everything inside you wanted to quit. That's the quiet victory. It's the version of you no one sees. The battles no one knows about. The nights you cried but still kept going. The days you failed but still showed up. The heartbreaks you carried while still trying to smile. The disappointments you swallowed because you didn't have the luxury of breaking down. You carried yourself through hell and didn't wait for applause. That's strength. That's power. That's growth. And now that you're here, at the end of this journey, I want you to understand something that most people spend their whole lives trying to learn. You are already enough. Not because you're perfect, not because you've made it, but because you chose to keep going when life tried to stop you. That's success. That's the blueprint. It's about discipline, consistency, self-value, and the willingness to fight for your future even when the present feels impossible. But there's another part too. You must live your life your way. Not for approval, not for claps, not for validation, not for attention, not for social media, not for people who only show up when you're shining. Your life is yours. Your journey is yours. Your vision is yours. And nobody, not a single person, has the right to tell you who to be, how to grow, or what your future should look like. You've earned your peace. You've earned your strength. You've earned your quiet victory. So that's my final message to you. Keep living in a way that feels true to your soul. Keep working when nobody sees you. Keep healing even when it hurts. Keep growing even when it's slow. Keep believing even when it feels impossible. Keep going even when it's dark. Every moment of lonely discipline will create a future so bright when you stand on the other side of the struggle. When your success becomes your proof, you'll realize the truth. The world didn't need to understand your journey. You did. And now, unapologetically, you made it to the end and the beginning. If you want to watch more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. So,